Hey everyone, welcome back to the Vibes Podcast. Today we have an incredible guest who embodies the very essence of discipline, grit, and relentless growth. Richard Hernandez is the founder of Do Hard Things 365, a movement all about pushing limits and embracing challenges every single day. Whether it's holding a 4-hour plank, knocking out 1,458 push-ups, an hour, or completing insane endurance events, Richard has made it his mission to inspire others and reject the societal norms that embrace discomfort. His journey isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental toughness, daily discipline, and showing up even when it's hard. So let's dive into this inspiring story and see how Do Hard Things can transform your daily life. Richard, welcome.
Yeah.
Cheering in the background.
Happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Yes. No, I'm so excited to have you on here because I remember when I first met you, I was like, dang, I feel like I need to do more physical activities. And you were always talking about going out, working out, doing things, and posting videos. This is in the very beginning when you were working corp life.
That's right.
And I needed a buddy to help train me. And I was like, hey, will you help me?
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, we would go once a week and go hit the mitts, hit the pads.
Yeah. And then you inspired me to do the 90-day hard challenge. And to this exact day, I still wake up every single morning, do my walks, do a little... The reading, not going to lie, I don't do the reading part as much, but the cold showers is actually really nice after a great workout. So, Richard, tell us a little bit about what inspired you behind your program that you've started.
Yeah, so I think the beginning of Do Hard Things, it really started about a year ago when I felt really compelled to spread this message of discipline, of daily discipline, of showing up every day, of growing incrementally, pushing the boundaries little by little, and being consistent for a period of time. So about a year ago, I went a little crazy with just putting it all out there. I tend to be a very reserved person in real life. I dabbled with putting things out there here and there a few years ago, some of the big hikes that I did. But about a year ago, I just started putting a list of all my workouts. And then more recently, in the later chapter of Do Hard Things, really started doing a lot of community type of events. So not just about all the cool things that I can do in my story, but also bringing other people along for the ride.
Okay, so in this, your mission was basically to inspire others as well to kind of do more things every single day?
Absolutely. So I think that there's just a lot of noise with things in general, with fitness on how do I get fitter? How do I start? How do I get into running? How do I run a marathon? And what I'm trying to really push is to say it's not that hard. You just have to get started. You just have to get started and do something today. If you think you want to run a marathon eventually and you've never run a mile in your life, guess what? Just put on your boots right now, put on your sneakers, go run around the block.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, do that again.
Yeah.
And then the next day, do it again. And maybe push a little farther. Maybe run twice around the block.
Yeah.
And you'll quickly find that if you stick to something for a period of time, you're going to get there.
That's true.
And the growth becomes exponential, and you will be running your marathon before you know it.
Yeah. Talking about running, I need to work on that one. I need to move my walks to runs. I know I can just do a little bit. I'll do one block and then another. I'm going to challenge myself. You already started it in my mind again.
Hey, we're doing 75 days of running right now, so jump on the train.
Oh, okay. So tell me about that. How do you start building community around this?
It's kind of hard. I think it's kind of hard. It's a lot more organic when it's in real life, and maybe you go to a place like a yoga studio or a gym. It's very easy that people see what you're doing, and you kind of invite them over. On social, I've been experimenting with a few things. There's a couple of challenges that really worked out well, I think. So in June, I think it was in June, I challenged people to do 100 burpees every day for 30 days. Now, if you know a typical burpee where you're jumping,
it's the one where you jump, go down, do the push-up.
Exactly.
I really dislike those to the core.
They're hard. They're hard. But that was also the reason I chose burpees, because it becomes, people think they can't do 100 burpees in a day. trust me, anyone watching this, anyone sitting at home can do 100 burpees. You don't have to do them back to back, and you don't have to do them with the full tuck and the push up. So what I did is I said, hey, I'm going to give you many variations on the burpee. You can literally, what you can do is from a standing position, put your hands down, step 1 foot back, another back into a plank position, come back up, raise your hands above your head.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we call like a regression on a burpee. So a lot of people took this on. There were people that were at a fitness level of 2 out of 10. There were people that were 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And one thing that every single person that finished this challenge told me is that they said, hey, I've never stuck to something for so long, for a period of 30 days.
Oh my God.
And because I did it, I'm stronger, not just physically, but mentally. And I think that there's an invisible muscle that we all could work on, even me with my level of discipline, and it's the discipline muscle.
Yeah. And with building that discipline muscle, I know that that's how you kind of draw people in the physical space. You tell them about what you're doing. How do you build that muscle, I guess, when you have a moment where like, that's it, I want to give in, I'm done.
Yeah.
What do you think about? What are your techniques there?
Yeah, I mean, that voice, we all talk about this voice that knows you very well, that tricks you into comfort, right? Because at the end of the day, I think your mind is trying to keep you safe, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's other people that talk about this that are experts on this, but the way that I think about it is your mind wants to keep you safe. And so given the option of going and running in 20-degree weather outside in the snow, your mind says, no, stay indoors, stay in bed.
Yeah, I want to be cozy.
You're going to be safe here. You're not going to break a bone. Nothing's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
so I think that there's this voice that exists for a reason, but it's up to you to really challenge that voice and say, you're not in charge. I'm in charge. I mean, like, a common thing is people want to wake up early and they want to run, right? Mm-hmm. They say, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me multiple times. I set the alarm. 6 o'clock, the alarm goes off, and then my mind says, hit snooze. You have time. 30 minutes. Just give me 30 minutes. Yeah. And you say, okay. You hit snooze. 30 minutes later, the mind says, oh, hit snooze again. 7 o'clock. You have time. I do it. And then the next time, it says, well, too late. You got that meeting. You can't go anymore, but we'll go tonight. I promise you.
Yeah.
And so I think thinking about what you want to do and just saying, hey, I have a goal of running more. Hey, I have a goal of learning a language. Yeah. I have a goal of reading a book, and just setting a metric of saying, I'm going to do 10 pages a day. I'm going to do a Duolingo lesson a day. Yeah. And sticking to it no matter what that voice is saying. And if you do that for a period of time, what do they say? 21 days to develop a habit. Mm-hmm. If you do that for a period of time, that voice gets quieter and quieter and quieter. It never goes away, but that voice starts getting very silent. That's good to know.
That's good to know, though. It is very true that it never goes away. And I learned that when I started doing my 95-day hard, when I was like challenged by you to do it the first time, if I skipped more than 2 days in a row, it's like all of it just would go away, and my brain, it's like that muscle, if you're not using it
atrophies.
You lose it.
Absolutely.
It really does, because then when you go on trips, it's really hard to maintain a like really productive schedule and stick to it. Oh, how do you do that when you're going on trips? How do you stay motivated?
It's what I do. Thing? It's my new normal. When I go on vacations,
that exactly.
I make it work. I went to Europe recently with my family, and on the days that we weren't doing this pilgrimage that we went out to do, and I can tell you a little bit about that later, but we went out to do El Camino de Santiago, which is a famous pilgrimage in Spain.
Oh, so pretty.
We were vacationing in London, and there it's purely vacation. But guess what?
It didn't stop.
It didn't stop. It can't stop.
Yeah.
And so before my family would wake up, I would just be doing push-ups. I didn't have access to a gym. There's not a lot of gyms in London for some reason. I don't know why. But
it's rainy, cozy. They're like, nah.
No, it's something about the weather, the food. I don't know. Yeah. But I had running shoes, so I'd go out for runs. I was doing my planks because at the time, every single week, I was trying to PR my plank.
Yeah.
And so I think when I was in London, I was holding...
What's PR? Sorry.
Set a personal record,
Okay.
personal best.
Gotcha.
And so for a period of 10 months, every single week, I was pushing my plank and pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And I happened to be in London. And when I was in London, I think I did a 65 or 70-minute plank in front of the London Eye. But the point is...
That's wild. First of all, wow. Wait, sorry, go on.
No, but the point is, I still got to enjoy my vacation. I was still very present with family, but I had to do what I had to do before they woke up, after they went to bed. I still got my workouts in.
So would you say in trying to maintain the lifestyle that you're doing, you're also... You showed us how to, go around, hey, I have family, I want to really engage and do the day-to-day things with them. Has it ever affected relationships in the past? Yeah. And how do you deal with that?
That's a very
it's just like, how does that affect, you know what I mean? How does,
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where as you kind of start going on a different path.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very important point, actually. I think as you start really embracing who you are at the core, and not what society wants you to be, what you think your corporation wants you to be, what you think your friends and family want you to be, but you embracing who you want to be 100%. You might actually have to change some of those relationships, the dynamic with the relationship, the actual people. You might move away from them. I'll give you an extreme example. Maybe you're really a CrossFitter and you got really into the CrossFit community, but your boyfriend or girlfriend, all they want to do is Netflix and chill, right? Well, there's going to be natural tension, right? And so I think like the more that you embrace who you are, you're going to find a group of people that are very like-minded. So that's my short answer.
Yeah, no, and it definitely makes sense because I'm also going through that transition of like trying to hone in my own passions, like what's my vision, what is my future, do my friends, align with the values that I'm trying to be, that becoming journey.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really hard. It's really hard and sometimes it can be lonely, but I know that the idea of who I want to become in the future is so beautiful and bright, and I believe in my own self that I know that it won't be so lonely if I just make sure that I feel good about this process.
1,000%. There's a really good book on this that I read. It's called Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone!
The 10X guy, the real estate guy.
Yeah.
But I thought this book was phenomenal. And a few of the points that I thought were awesome to me, it says like, hey, for some reason, society likes to keep people average. He uses this kind of visual of like crabs in a bucket. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but
I have not.
So usually when there's crabs in a bucket and one crab is trying to get out of the bucket, guess what the other crabs do?
They pull him down?
Pull him right down.
I'm like envisioning, I could see that.
And so Grant, he talks about how there's all these like societal kind of systems that keep people in check. It's like, hey, why aren't you watching NFL? Why aren't you having beers with the boys? Why aren't you going to happy hour after work? Right? There's all these norms that tend to keep people all within a certain kind of spectrum. Yeah. And what he says is like, no, embrace your inner obsession. Obsess over the things that you care about. Yeah. Screw everything else. Everything will work out fine. I think that's one of the books that kind of pushed me down this path of saying, yeah, you know what? I like to get after it. Yeah. And so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And people are going to tease me. People are going to try to get me not to be at the gym on a Friday night. But guess what? This is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to embrace.
Yeah. And it's wild because it's those crazy, innocent little comments that are like, it's fine. Just have another bite.
100%.
Or like, it's fine, you can just do it tomorrow. It's those little, and it's innocent, and they're not meaning to do it. Sure. You could just edit that video tomorrow. Of course. It's okay. Of course. It comes in that form, and I think that can be so dangerous to your own mind in a sense of like when you're really honed in on those goals, you're like, you just don't get it. You don't get it. Here is my goal, this is my plan, and like as long as you have that mental discipline, like, ooh, the world can change for you.
So obviously there's haters out there that maybe want to pull you down because they're jealous of you and all that. But you're right, there's innocence around it too. I'll give you a perfect example. 2 of my family members. Yeah. I'm gonna go do the Grand Canyon, rim to rim to rim, which is It's this hike, this run where you go to Grand Canyon. You start on the south side. You go all the way down the canyon, all the way across, up the north rim, back down, come all the way back to the river, and then you go up Bright Angel. They call that rim to rim to rim. It's about 50 miles. It's about 12,000 feet of vertical gain.
Oh, wow.
And it could be dangerous, but it isn't. I mean, but stuff happens because you're out in the canyon. And my mom started, because she's worried for my safety. She's
of course.
And she says,
Mom.
"Oh, mijo, no, don't do it,
No,
don't
that's
go."
so pico.
And I'm like, do you not understand? I'm trying to be exceptional here. I'm trying to go do hard things. And then now I have my mom that's telling me, "Hey, why are you doing that?" And then I have my brother too.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
but he's also saying, "Oh, why are you going to do that? Why are you putting yourself in danger?
Yeah.
What if something happens?" And so, I think there's all these like social structures where people, it could be innocent, it could be people being haters, but they all want to keep you to be the mean. And I'm here to tell you, embrace being exceptional, embrace doing what you want to do.
Yeah. How do you get around, I guess, the fear? I know there's a lot of humans that have like the fear of looking silly or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get around, I guess, the so-called... I bet that there's humans online that are like, he's not really doing that.
Yeah.
It's a lie, blah, blah, blah. How do you deal with your day-to-day with those interactions?
Everything is positive for me. If there's a hater out there, it fuels me. It just fuels me. It does. And
it's energy.
There's a saying that says, "You will never find a hater doing better than you." And it's true.
Yeah.
It's 100% true. There's all these people commenting, and now I have a little community online where people defend me when people start people start saying, "Oh, he's not holding a plank. Oh, that's not a regulation plank. Oh, look at his hips, this and that." And people jump in and they say, "No, bro, he's actually doing it."
Yeah.
Right? But there's haters. There's always going to be haters. And you could acknowledge it. You could be like, "Yeah, I see it. Does it affect me? Is it going to slow me down?" Absolutely not.
Yeah.
There's a guy that I heard, I think it was David Goggins, actually. He's one of my heroes.
Yes.
And he says, you could be walking on water and someone will say, "Man, that guy's just walking because he can't swim." It's like, absolutely.
Yeah, haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. But bring it on. They say if you don't have haters, you're not doing enough.
You're not doing it right. You're not taking risks.
Yeah.
You're not pushing the boundaries.
That's very true. Especially in this. Like, I know I was telling you earlier that I did my first Spanish podcast, and I was low-key terrified about doing it, but I was like, you know what? That's fine if I can't speak perfect Spanish. At least I'm trying. At least I'm trying to represent, like, the side of me that I'm also proud of. May not be perfect, but you know what? At least I'm doing it.
Selena also didn't speak.
That's it.
Good,
You're
good
right.
And she was a
Como
superstar.
una flor. See, I do know Spanish, everyone. No, but that's actually really a great reminder, and just to let people know that, like, who cares if you look silly? Who cares if humans are like, I don't get it?
Crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, crabs in a bucket, y'all. That's gonna be the new phrase. Don't let them pull you down. Okay, so tied into that, I know that some of the key things that you've done, what is like one major accomplishment? And I know you've done a lot, like just 4 hours of planking. Holy cow.
Yeah.
What is that one thing that you've done that you're like, this is a huge highlight and I'm so proud of myself for doing?
I think one that I'm pretty proud of is this pilgrimage in Spain. So this pilgrimage, just to describe it a little bit, essentially if you do the full thing, you start on the border of France and Spain, and you walk all the way west to this cathedral called Santiago de Compostela. And there's a lot of history. It's been going on for hundreds and thousands of years. 100,000 people plus do it every year. And I thought, oh, this would be really cool. Let me invite my family. So I invited my family, and they were just a little hesitant because they're like, Richard's a little like extreme. Like, we can't keep up with him. And I said, all right, I'm going to make a deal with you. I said, if you guys join me, I will carry all your luggage through the trail.
I watched a video of this. I remember you posting this.
Yeah, so I did it. So I'm the first person to carry 150 pounds of luggage through El Camino de Santiago.
Wow.
Like, I think there was, I got interviewed by Argentina, Canal 3, It was great. And
Okay.
it's been confirmed by the locals and the people, the authorities. They said, yeah, you're the first person to ever do this.
That's insane. That's amazing.
And for us, it was either 10 or 11 days.
Yeah.
And it was good because my parents were alongside me. We were all moving at the same pace. They were very
Yeah.
proud of what I was doing. I was very proud of them
Aw.
because they had trained for 4 or 5 months. They started hiking, at Griffith and all the local hikes. And they really worked hard so they could actually finish this, and they finished it. So it's very fulfilling, not because I did a badass thing,
Oh, yeah.
but it's also because my family was around for it too.
Yeah, I can only imagine how beautiful it feels to have the support of the ones that you love around you.
100%.
Oh.
And what I'm learning through this Do Hard Things 365 experience is it kind of started as, hey, I'm trying to better myself, and I want to bring people along for the ride, and I want to inspire people. But what it's evolving to is more of a movement. It's I want people to do hard things, and I want to be there alongside with them, and I want to be pushing them, and I want to be nudging them.
Yeah.
I have people that tag me on their stories and say, oh, I ran today, and I did this, and I did this hard thing.
Yeah.
And so what I envision this to be is really people getting after it and having that do hard things mindset.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. So it's not just working out. Again, it's like that mental toughness and building that, and that's part of the beauty. So I know a lot of people associate yours just working out.
Yeah.
No, it's way beyond that, and it's true. Building that muscle is like key to doing all of this.
1,000%. And I think if you can get your mind right, it helps you with every aspect in life.
Do you know? Okay, I was reading Mel. I think is it Mel. I remember her. I don't know her last name, but it's like Mel. She is also a podcaster and wrote like a couple of books. She has a method where when you wake up and it's hard to wake up and you need to do something, it's the 5, 4,
countdown,
3, 2, and you have to get up before 1 because your mind will actually talk you out of doing anything that is uncomfortable. If you count down, your mind is so focused on the numbers and doing that action that it like helps push you out and doing the thing.
I agree. That's a great tool to have.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up.
But just that same kind of in the same vein of tools, it's like action. I know a lot of people when they think about, oh, what do I want to do with physical challenges, this and that, they tend to plan a lot. They tend to research a lot. One example that I like to use is like you want to go run a marathon, and all of a sudden you're going online and you're like comparing which training is better, and Nike has one, and then let me go on this forum.
That's true.
Oh, and there's one on Etsy and I can buy it. Oh, I have a friend. And you start doing all this research, and 2 weeks go by and you haven't walked 10 steps.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the thing about action, it's like incredibly important.
Yeah.
It's just action. Action trumps everything.
Yeah. No, honestly, that's true because I'm very guilty on like, just go, and not thinking things all the way through. But I feel like I gain a lot of valuable lessons in a sense of like failing to success. You know what I mean? I just fail every time, and I'm like learning each podcast. There might be something we forgot to put the card in one of the cameras once. Like the audio didn't work once. It stopped recording because there was no storage. It's these little things that you're learning, you're going, and you're growing. So I think that everything that you're doing right now is super incredible, super inspiring, motivating. I'm going to keep watching all of your videos because
thank you.
I need to work out more. I'm going to implement more of those day-to-days. But if you're at home and you want to start doing like your mission, make it public. I feel like sometimes that helps.
Yeah, I think the accountability piece is super important. There's a lot of things that I don't like to do, by the way.
Yeah.
And one of the little tools, if you will.
Give us some of your tools from your toolbox.
This is a tool. Okay, so I'll give you an example. One of the hard challenges that I did recently, it was on Monday, September the 9th.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I go to this Core Power hot yoga studio. I do these yoga sculpt classes. They're challenging. They're hard.
Yeah.
When I first started doing them 2 years ago, one class was like pretty tough.
Yeah.
And then I started doing back-to-backs. And then I did, I think, back-to-back-to-backs. And then I said, you know what, 9-9. What if I did 9? What if I did 9 on 9-9?
Oh,
and I kind of got this idea, and I said, you know what, that would be a good challenge. So it would be 9 hours of working out at Core Power doing hot yoga sculpt.
And for anyone who doesn't know about
it's tough.
Core Power Yoga, I did one class. I was sweating, like tippy toes. All of it was drenched.
No, it's tough. And so I said, about a week before I started posting on social, I said, hey, I think this is going to happen. I'm 99% sure this 999 thing's going to happen. And then about 3 or 4 days out, I said, nope, 100% it's going to happen.
It's happening.
But guess what? The night before, I was in bed and I said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. Every bone in my body is saying, why are you doing this? Hey, why don't you go do something more productive?
Yeah.
Why don't you go focus on the things you actually have to do? Go focus on making money. Go focus on ABC. And I said, but you know what? My accountability tool was I put it out there on purpose, so I actually do it. And guess what? The morning of, I woke up, I'm like, I don't want to do this. And my mind is trying to figure out a way how to get out of it. It's like, do I lie about something? Did my car not start? And I started getting mad at my mind. I'm like, why am I thinking like this?
Isn't it funny how it does that? It's like, what excuse can I make?
Yeah, it's trying to come. I got mad. I started having this dialogue with my head saying,
that's crazy.
What are you doing? Like, why are you trying to lie yourself out of this?
Yeah.
So what I did is, guess what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't.
Yes.
I just said, all right, let's go. Let's get our bag. Everything's already in the car.
Yeah.
Let's go. And 6 o'clock in the morning, I did my first class.
Yeah.
And I worked out from 6 o'clock all the way until like 11 p.m.
That's crazy. I can't even imagine. Props to you, because I'm gonna challenge you to a plank though. I want to see. I know.
Let's do it.
I know physically you're gonna win, but we're not focused on that. I want to time myself and see how long I can go, because I want to say that I versed you in something.
Do we do it now or after?
We could do it right after.
Okay.
We'll do the final. So the final closing parts. It's basically, what are some, I guess, thoughts or words or advice you have for people going on like a journey on working on their goals? Do you have more tools in your toolbox that you want to highlight?
Absolutely. So in a previous life, I used to do strategic planning for companies, and I thought I was pretty decent at it. In companies, we tend to use these OKR frameworks. You can Google it. You can look at it online, but it's objective and key results. The whole idea is that you think about what you want to do, and then every quarter or every 3 months, you come up with 3 to 5 things that you really want to move the needle on, and then you try to put measurable kind of
like little action items,
actions, keys, like I'm going to walk every day.
Okay.
I'm going to work out for 45 minutes, or I'm going to do a yoga class every day or something. Put a metric around it. And so that's what I did for businesses. And I thought, well, why can't we apply that same framework to ourselves? And so with people that I work with, what I try to get them to do is really think about, well, what do you want to get out of life, right?
Yeah.
Like, one exercise that I like to do, if you really want to geek out on this, but I like people to kind of have a mission statement.
Yeah.
And kind of think about, well, what does happiness look like for me 5 years from now? Like, what am I doing that day? When I wake up, am I waking up next to someone? Am I waking up next to my cats, my dogs? Like, I don't know. When I wake up, what's the first thing that I do? Do I grab coffee? Do I take a shower? Do I jump on my moped to go to the office, or am I taking the metro, or am I taking my Porsche? Like, what am I doing? And try to get like very
clear.
Very clear. Use all your senses.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are you doing after work? Are you even working? Are you a influencer? Are you like, what are you doing? And then once you start defining that, well, now you have a North Star. Now, are you going to get there? Who knows? But at least you have something to aim at.
Yeah.
And, well, all of a sudden, guess what? If in 5 years I want to be living in Korea for some reason, well, I probably need to learn Korean. Right?
The little things in between.
Yeah, and so now you can start working backwards. And you go, well, if I got to learn Korean, well, maybe this quarter what I'll do is, what if I just download Duolingo and I do at least 1 class a week? And we go from there. Yeah. And so, like, that's the level of planning that I'd really push people to do. And it's like, don't try to do too many things, but for the next 3 months, what are the 3 or 5 things that you think you want to do? And actually write them down and try to make them measurable if possible.
Yeah, I love that. Is there any, like, how do you personally do it? Do you have a program that you use to help keep track of this? Do you just write it in a journal? Like,
how do you? So I have a tablet, and I just made this one form that just focuses on the next day. That's it. And so what I try to do, I'm not perfect with this.
Nobody's perfect.
But what I try to do is the night before, I just think about what are the 3 to 5 things that I have to get done the next day.
Yes.
And these are the 3 to 5 things that are very important to me in my life. And it could be something as simple as, man, I haven't scheduled my dental appointment yet. Okay, well, guess what? You probably want good dental hygiene.
Yeah.
And wow, I haven't done that in a year. So maybe tomorrow's the day, and I
Yeah.
put it on my list. It's all it's going to be is I'm just going to make an appointment.
Bloop.
Boop, that's it. So these are the 3 to 5 things. Again, you don't want a list of 30 things. It's just think about
It's day by
day by day.
And
guess
then North
what?
Star.
And here's the thing, right? It's just like the Do Hard Things 365. You just focus on the day. You focus on the next step. If you focus on just winning that day,
Mm-hmm.
you win one day, and you focus on winning that day.
Yeah.
Guess what? Weeks are going to go by, and then all of a sudden you're going to be winning weeks. Guess what? Weeks go by, and you're going to be winning months.
Yeah.
You start winning months, you start winning years, and that's where the real transformation happens.
Yeah.
But if you say, oh my God, I got to do all these things in the next year, it's going to be so overwhelming.
It really is,
But
yeah.
if all
I
you
can
do
see
is you
that.
focus on, what am I doing the next day?
Mm-hmm.
And then, every once in a while, every few months, sit down and do your little exercise of like, am I moving in the right direction?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that you don't want to do is being stuck in this planning mode where, just like training for a marathon, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend 2 weeks researching the perfect plan. It's like, no, put on your shoes. Just go
do
run.
it, yeah.
Just go run.
Yeah. The last thing that I did was the most mental toughness, and I did just very little. I mean, I listened to it casually, but I did a 72-hour fast not too long ago. I thought about food every single day. I
Yeah.
was even on social media, like looking at food, envisioning me like smelling it, eating it. But I was like, no, you know what? I have a goal. I want to see what happens to my body. There's like this whole science and reason why I did it behind why I wanted to do this. But like the fact that I did it and I had the discipline to not physically eat while
Amazing.
steak was being cooked in the background, like my senses were going crazy. That alone made me like be extra inspired to be like, Lisette, you still got it. Like, keep going. Like, keep doing what you're doing. So it's like challenging yourself with little mini things in between
100%.
as well. So
And so you getting that 72-hour victory, yeah, it could help you maybe do
felt
like,
on top of the world.
maybe you could do 4 days of fasting, or you could say like, no, I'm a pretty resilient person. What if I
Yeah, and
tried
applied.
this? What if I tried this other thing? What if I tried doing stand-up because I think
Yeah.
I want to do stand-up?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think doing that fast actually helps you.
It did
with
beyond
everything
what,
else.
yeah, beyond what it was actually. Like my mind is now. I'm like, what else can I accomplish?
We are capable of so much, and that is actually one of the reasons that I got inspired to embrace its Do Hard Things 365 kind of account, personality, because so many people are leaving so much on the table with the planks. Okay, so what I do, one of my community events is I do these community planks.
Yeah.
And in the planks, I basically get 2 yoga mats. I go to a local spot here where a lot of people go exercise. It's
Yeah.
at the top of a hill. And I have a sign that just says, hey, join me for 20 seconds, right? And I put 20 seconds there because everybody wants to have a target, and I think 20 seconds is achievable. It's hard,
Yeah.
but it's achievable for a lot of people.
I'm like, I have to get more than 20 seconds.
We're going to put a visual timer. Don't forget. And one thing that I love with my interactions with people is that they plank, and I try to talk to them. We're just distracted in conversation, and
Yeah.
by the time we're done, they planked 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes,
See,
5
that's
minutes.
crazy.
And the look on their face, it's like they can't believe that they actually did this thing. Because to them, a minute was hard. Why? Because they got yelled at in a fitness class to go do a minute after their workout, and in their head they're like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
But these same people, they sit down and they do 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and you could tell the gears are turning.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I say, hey, this is your new normal. Next
Yeah.
time I see you, 3 minutes is your minimum. You got to give
Let's
me
see where you can
310.
go.
You got to
Yeah.
give me 320.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's like you could tell that people are gaining the confidence, just like what you did with your.
It's a little bulb that turns on. You're like, whoa, I didn't know I had that piece of me in me. But we're so much stronger than we think.
The first time that I got that feeling, like truly got that feeling, is I did one of the David Goggins challenge.
Yeah.
It's called the 4x4x48.
Yeah.
And it's where you're running 4 miles every 4 hours for a period of 48 hours. So it typically starts on a Friday.
Yeah.
So you're running at 8 p.m. Your alarm goes off, beep, beep, beep. You go run 4 miles. You come back, and you could eat, you can stretch, you could take a nap. 12 o'clock comes around, beep, beep, beep. You go, you run.
And you gotta go again.
Do it again. And then 4 a.m. and then 8 a.m. and then noon and then 4
Oh,
p.m. and
wow.
then 8 p.m. and then midnight and then 4 a.m. and then 8 a.m. and then noon. And then the last 4 miles is at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And this is one of those experiences that many highs, many lows. It was hard, but I did it.
Yeah, but you did it. That's
Before
all
that, I
matters.
think I probably ran like a half marathon is the most that I've ever run.
Oh, wow.
And
So this was in the beginning phase of everything.
it was in the beginning phases.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And so it took someone like David Goggins to show me what I'm capable of. And I want to reciprocate that with my audience as well.
Shout out to David Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins, if you're seeing this, love you.
I know you've met him in person, right?
Yeah,
I saw that selfie and I was like, yay!
We have a
he
selfie
finally
together.
met him.
We ran together. He actually did during one of the 4x48 challenges. He drove down the coast of California and he stopped by Hermosa Beach, and that's where I met him, and I ran.
Did you know he
miles-
was going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of put it out there on social, but I ran miles 41 through 44 with him.
Wow,
Yeah,
how
awesome guy.
inspiring.
Amazing
That's so
guy.
beautiful. Oh, I love this. Oh my God. Okay. So if you want to, thank you for sharing all of your insights. I super appreciate it. And I know that the audience, just me sitting here alone, I'm already like, I need to apply some of the things that you said and like add them to my daily lifestyle and like remind myself that I can do everything. I can do anything, manifest it, actions, keep going. And obviously follow Richard online to help get you more motivated. You want to share how we can join your day-to-day and get more inspired?
Yeah, absolutely. Just join on Instagram, Do Hard Things 365. I also have a YouTube channel that I started recently. It goes by the same handle. And join me on some virtual challenges. Join me on in real life planking challenges if you're here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So we're going to film this separately, but I'm about to do a plank and see how long I can last. So
Let's
wait,
do it.
but before we go, I almost forgot. I have this tradition where it's positive messages in a bottle. And I want to see what you pulled today to see what message the universe has. So what vibe are you vibing today?
Well, I like the color purple.
Okay. We're going to purple it today.
What do I do? Do I swallow
You have to
this?
swallow it. No, don't swallow it. Everyone's like, do I swallow it? No, you read it. There's a message.
Because, for those of if you can see this, it's the shape of a pill.
Oh, man. Dun, 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 dun.
Do I read it?
Yeah, let's see what it says.
You are far greater than the circumstances and words imposed upon you.
That's beautiful.
I like it.
Yeah. I feel like it goes with today's podcast, actually.
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
think
yeah.
it does. No, this is a good one. It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was. And okay, so another tradition is if you had a little tiny one sentence phrase to leave in the bottle, what would it be?
Do hard things every day.
There we go. I love, that's it, period. Do hard things every day, period.
Every day. That's what I embody.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'm going to have you on later on as a guest in the future because, you know, this is the beginning phase. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the next podcast. Bye.